Hello! Hi, gut feelers! Welcome to our live stream. We had a bit of difficulties with the tech stuff. I had this really fancy camera here that I'm now using for the videos. I had this all set up, with all these cables connected, and then they just said, like, it's not working right now. I'm like, what? I did a test. Anyway, so here we are. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Say hi in the chat box if you're watching live, and if you're watching it in the, later on, just say hi in the comments. I'm still reading them. So what we're going to start off with, we're going to have a little intro, some food for thought. Can you see this in the? I'm just wondering. Can you read this, or is this opposite? Is this the opposite way, or can you read the text? Let me know in the chat, please. Or does this look weird? It should say, what causes fatty liver? So we're going to do an intro. There are four main causes. There are more, but those are four of the main causes. Oh, you can read it. Ooh, probably just because the camera here shows it differently to me. So we're going to have this short intro, and then we're going to dive straight into your questions. If you have a question, the way to post them is please add, before you post a question, 3 question marks. This makes it easier for me when there are more people coming to see what is a question and what is just a comment. Yeah, so 3 question marks before your question. So yeah, let's get started. First, I want to say thank you. We reached 80,000 gut feelers in our tribe on YouTube, which is a great success. It's a great honor to know that there's resonance for this kind of work that I'm sharing here with you, and that we're working towards together, because it's, in the end, it's all about not just telling you drink lemon juice, drink celery juice, drink whatever juice, but like showing you that your body has the answers in the end. So I'm just giving you some suggestions, but the gut feelings, right? The channel is called Gut Feelings for a reason. What this is all about is like you connecting with your gut feelings, so you become the expert. You become the most powerful healer that there is, because nobody knows your body the way you do, right? 24/7 with your body sometimes seems a burden, but it's also a gift. And I really do believe that no doctor, no naturopath, no Peggy on gut feelings can tell you what you really need. We can all just give you some suggestions, but in the end, it's this deep connection with yourself, and like building a new relationship with your body. Hi guys, just saying hi. Hi Joe, hi Kevlav, Avon, Gigi, Emmanuel, Anastasia, Joey, Cecilia, Oside. Welcome to the live Q&A. I'm so glad you're here, really. It's the last one we did in October, I think. And hey, Sarah! Hi, Sarah. The last one we did in October, the last live Q&A, because I didn't have good internet connection for this live stream. We did not have internet connection, and we are here. I can show you in the middle of the Andes Mountains. I actually can't move this thing a lot. So you see some mountains here. It's about 4,000 meters above sea level. That's why it's pretty warm, but I'm still sitting with this, because if you're not in the sun, you get chilly. Yeah, but the fresh air, and yeah, it's very, very beautiful. Okay, so guys, no matter what gut issues you have, we just do a little intro on what causes fatty liver, because in the end, your liver is connected with everything. It's connected with all the gut issues. No matter if you have SIBO, candida, gastritis, acid reflux, your liver always has a say in it. That's why it's so important to get like a little intro on this, and then we dive into your questions, and they can be all over the place, everything about gut issues. Okay. Hydration. So let's get started. I want to know from you. So this is an interactive live Q&A. It's not just like Peggy teaches anything. What causes fatty liver? You can also put the fatty liver in brackets, because this is about general liver health. So even the interesting thing. So think about what could one of those be. I already made some give you some clues. So you can put in the chat box if you have any ideas what causes fatty liver. And one thing about this fatty liver is that most of us have fatty liver without knowing it, because when Western medicine detects anything in the body, via blood test, via endoscopy, ultrasound, it's usually already pretty bad. Yeah. So pre-fatty liver, for example, it's not that easy to be diagnosed. And that's why most of us actually have liver issues. So if you have gut issues, if you have allergies, what else could you have? You can't sleep, you have anxiety attacks, it's likely connected with the liver, because the liver is such a key organ. 1.5 kilo, 3 pounds here in your upper right rib cage. And it has, I think, right now Western medicine already agreed on 1,500 functions. When I studied medicine, it was 500 functions. It's always getting more function. In the end, it's like there's so many things that the liver has to do, and it's like a workaholic. 24/7 works for you and for me. So any ideas what could cause fatty liver? MTDS. I'm just looking here. Hello, everybody. Abigail, DV. Anybody new? Come on, guys. The faster you answer the question, the faster we come to your question. Where did I put my pens? Okay. Well, the first one is actually where the, how do you say it, where the dog bites in its own tail, right? Here, Western medicine, one of my favorite ones. Sugar is good. Sugar, sugar, honey. No, this is not sugar. The first one is like where the dog bites in its own tail, Western medicine. You have any guesses? What causes like real, like stresses your liver out as crazy? Very much overburdens the liver. There's a lot of those circling around in your liver, never get out, because this is such a major trigger. What is it? Meat. No, it's not meat. Could be meat. It's, oh yeah, we got here music said painkillers. Very good. It's medication. 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 All kinds of medication. We're not just talking about antibiotics. Yes, they also get stored up in your liver, and residues can be there up to 10 years. You know, if you don't detox the liver never has time, stores it up in its fat cells. We'll talk about that in a second. And kind of stores them up like a locker where you put in your, like a storage room that you can buy. Medication, any types, painkillers, big one that gets stored up. Next one, I already saw this. This one is already in the chat box. Toxins. Toxins. But what kind of toxins? What kind of toxins are we talking about? Gabriele, what do you think? What kind of toxins are burdening the liver? Yes, every toxin, of course, is not good, but especially, yes, exactly, Sarah, heavy metals. Now, think about dental fillings, think about the mercury, the amalgam that is in there, which, by the way, gets most released when it's put in and when you take it out. So if you have amalgam fillings and they are not leaking, I do not recommend to just, take them out for detoxing. It could have the opposite effect, because it's most released when it's put in and when it's put out. Yeah, so dental fillings, we're also talking about pesticides. Yeah, so all the foods that you're eating, they might be sprayed with pesticides, chemicals from household cleaners. Big one, guys. If you are somebody who's dealing with liver issues, who have SIBO, candida, gastritis, low energy, allergies, food allergies, seasonal allergies, you want to get clean. You want to lose lemon juice, vinegar for cleaning. Yes, those are kind of things that you can use, or just ecological cleaning also for your I have all Spanish words, ropa, for your clothes is a big one. Toxins inside your household are probably one of the biggest ones. We're talking about paint. This is an adobe house. There's no toxins in here. Peruvian handmade adobe house. But anything that is inside, new mattresses, new furniture, carpets, all of those things can really burden the liver and trigger the liver to go into overdrive, and in the end produce fatty liver cells. Yeah, so toxins, second one. Again, guys, if you have a question, please put 3 question marks in front and put them in the chat box or underneath the video if you're watching this as a replay. What's the next one? What causes fatty liver and liver problems in general? Who has an idea? It's a very general one. Dairy. Oh, that's a good one. Dairy. Dairy, definitely. Definitely dairy. Diet. Diet was what I wanted to say. Diet. Yes, Cindy, exactly. Diet. So what kind of diet are we talking about? We are talking especially about toxic fats. What are toxic fats? Well, everything that is fried for your liver. If you imagine like a French fry for your liver is like a slap in the face. Yeah, it's like imagine like you're slapping your liver with a French fry. It's so toxic. Like those are not fats that our body is able to deal with. This is like heated fat, often soy or corn oil. They're apart from that, they're super fatty, which is hard for liver in general. They are kind of alternated, so the liver has like it burns the liver like crazy. So fried foods are falling into this category. Also trans fats, and those trans fats, those are alternated fats that are not natural fats. They never occur in nature anywhere, especially like in margarine, cookies, things like that. What else? Hot dogs. Yeah, so processed meat is another one that is really causing troubles. Yeah, cookies. I think a neighbor just called me, but we are busy, right? So we are talking about diet. If yes, Emmanuel. Emmanuel just shared in the chat box alcohol. Obviously, alcohol. Alcohol is so obviously that I didn't put it on here because everybody's talking about fatty liver and alcohol. But what about all of us who don't abuse alcohol, never drank alcohol, have a non-alcoholic fatty liver or pre-fatty liver? So this is like one of the biggest ones. Diet, fatty foods. But of course, we talked about the five trigger foods: corn, soy, dairy, eggs, and gluten. Those, of course, we're talking about them all the time, so I didn't put them on there. They fall under diet as well. Disculpa, ahora no tengo tiempo. Disculpa. Gracias. No puedo, tengo una llamada. Disculpa. Otro tiempo, por favor. There was a neighbor just screaming. I don't know. Yeah. People just coming by. Okay. Now you heard me speaking Spanish, más o menos. I'm actually learning Quechua, which is the native language here from Peru. And in the market, everybody's speaking Quechua, and you basically don't understand anything. When I get some greens, some food. Okay, the last one, Kivlal, do I pronounce your name right? Has it pointed it down perfectly. The last one that causes major issues for our liver, for your digestive system, especially for really like for your whole body, is stress. It's stress. Sugar and stress. Sugar actually is not so much a problem if it's natural sugars. If we're talking about healthy fruits, if we're talking about honey, sugar, if it's high fructose corn syrup or alternated sugars, or sugar in cookies, processed sugar, that one is an issue. Yeah, but nothing like stress. If you could rate sugar and stress, this is a huge difference. It's like 10 times more sugar would be 10 times less an issue than stress. And really, from all those things, I'm going to write this down. Stress. From all those things that I mentioned, what do you think is the one that causes the most issues? What do you think? Like, if you could just fix one, what's the one? What do you think? Which one of those is like number one issue for causing fatty liver? They're all problematic. Yeah, so we're not talking about just choose one, but like if it's one, and that's often a misconception. Interesting. Got a lot of ideas. It's stress. It's stress. Why? I explained that to you really shortly before we come to the live Q&A. Stress is such a problem because of adrenaline. Yeah, so toxic adrenaline. Adrenaline is produced by your beautiful adrenal glands, which are here on the back. They've got two. Not just one, two, ideally. And this adrenaline that is produced, often we are not in the fight and flight. We are in fight and flight mode, but we're not actually running, right? Means that this adrenaline gets stored up. It gets stuck, we could say. It gets stuck in your bloodstream, it gets stuck in your liver. And when adrenaline is not recycled really quickly, it gets really, really toxic. It's like liquid battery fluid. Yeah? So like just imagine, open up your vein and put liquid battery in it. Like it's that toxic, highly erosive to your blood vessels. And for the liver, it causes it puts a huge burden on the liver, because it's like toxic heavy metal. Like this is how toxic and addictive adrenaline is when it's not recycled quickly. Yeah. So if you see the tiger, just back then, if you see the tiger, all the stress comes, all the blood flushing in your in your extremities, so you can run and fight. But during the run, you run for 30 minutes from the tiger, all this adrenaline gets recycled. It gets kind of worked up. But if you're just sitting there in your office or at home now and thinking about the boss, or having stress with your loved one, with your husband, with your children, and that adrenaline doesn't get out there, it doesn't get used up, then it becomes toxic. So what to do? Moving. If you got a lot of adrenaline, moving is one of the best ways. Grounding, getting out there in nature. Just don't keep sitting. Don't sit if you have a lot of stress. Okay, sweeties. I actually see my chickens here, right? They are visiting. They all want to be in the live stream. Esmeralda, Min, shall we say hi? Shall we say hi to your gut feelers before we come to the questions? Healing chicken energy. Let's see if she wants to come. Oh, okay, we've got a chicken here. So, there we go. This is Esmeralda, for everybody who hasn't seen her yet. She kind of doesn't like the idea. Yeah, I know we're live. Yeah, I know. She's kind of shy. Just like me. I also don't like being on camera all the time. There we go. Was there anything surprising from what we talked about? What causes fatty liver? What causes liver issues? Anything that was kind of, oh, really? I didn't know? Anything that surprised you? Let me know. I'm curious. This is a stress. Yeah. Stress. Okay, beautiful gut feeder. Thank you for being here. Let's dive into your questions. 3 question marks before your question, and then I'll do my best to answer. Now they're all coming here, see? Socializing time. She's called Esmeralda, and this is Sirius. Sirius is a youngster. She's kind of... Okay, enough of that. So I'll check your questions. Okay, Anastasia, I hope I pronounced you right. How do I know there's a problem with your gut or your liver? This is probably a question that a few gut feeders have, especially now that we talked about liver, and I told you like, oh, it's all connected. For the liver specifically, one of the reasons why most people don't think about the liver having an issue is because it's gradual. Yeah, it's not like, unless you have like a rupture or a big injury, or you just, majorly abuse alcohol and got like a trauma from that. Do you hear those guys? They're talking all the time. Hey, I'm talking right now. Be quiet. Sleep mode. Putting the chickens in standby, imagine. One of the reasons why we do not notice the liver so much is because it's gradual. So all the toxins and the burdening and the sluggish liver, it just builds up over time, often over decades. That's also when I just had a one-on-one client who was dealing with gastritis and lots of phlegm coming up. He couldn't speak. He had a lot of heartburn, hernia as well. And our first session was basically like, how long do I have to eat this way? Guys, how long do I have to eat this way until, I'm feeling better again? And the thing with the liver is because it's building up over decades, it also needs a lot of time. And it's a good thing, because if the liver would release toxins like this, like bath, all the toxins out, you would be dead. Me and you, depending on whose liver doing that. We would just be dead, because this is how much the liver protects these toxins, right? This is also a reason why it transfers, like why these healthy liver cells move into fatty liver cells, because in a fatty liver cell, or a fat cell in general, no matter where it is the most stable cell in the body, right? It's like a vault where all the toxins in, fat around, kind of safe. One of the reasons why if you have a lot of toxicity, it also leads to fatty liver, which we talked about. So how do you know you have gut or liver issues? For liver especially, you get just tired. So over time, you have less and less energy, you feel more and more tired. Another one is fat digestion. You have problems with digesting fat, you get a lot of acidity coming up, or you just bloat up like a balloon. Because the liver helps with the fat digestion, it produces bile, secretes them into the gallbladder, and then brings out also toxins this way. For your gut, bloating is a big one. If you have a lot of pressure, so if your abdomen if your abdomen is not like soft, if you don't put the muscles on, usually your abdomen is like soft. But if there is like this constant internal abdominal pressure, that's also a reason, that also is a sign for that there is something going on in the gut. But here's the thing: I've got clients who get like an endoscopy and who have like a coloscopy, and the doctor says there's something wrong with you. You have an ulcer here, you have diverticulitis, you have this and this and this, and the person doesn't feel a thing. They're just like, oh, I thought I just have high blood pressure. They don't feel a thing. So that's like, most people have gut issues when they get symptoms, but there are also those hidden ones where they're just like, oh, I just have constipation or have this and this. I hope this answers your question. I don't want to spend too much time on one, so we answer as many as possible. Let's see, who else? By the way, also, if you're just joining, just say hi, maybe from where you're streaming from, where you're joining from. So let's see. Hikame tour, or Hichame tour. Please, can you tell me how to cure H. pylori? So Hikame, I have like a whole playlist, at least 4 videos that I can think of, that are all talking about H. pylori, how to cure H. pylori. H. pylori is a bacterium that is in your stomach, mostly pathogenic bacteria, and is often said to be the culprit for ulcers, for stomach pain, things like that. One of the easiest ways to meet H. pylori full front is diet. So it's that one and that one. They are both connected. So if we're not talking about liver right now, we're talking about the stomach, diet, and stress. Stress particularly because a lot of people, not just who are dealing with H. pylori, but who are dealing with stomach issues in general, are eating too fast. So not much enough chewing, where the digestion starts here. It starts with carbohydrate digestion in your mouth. So that's why mastic gum is so amazing, because it trains you to chew more. Can be exhausting as well, but it's also highly effective. Which brings us to another way to kill H. pylori naturally is mastic gum. But I don't want to I said this in every mastic gum video. I don't want you to just, go out there, buy the supplement, chew the gum, and not change anything else. That doesn't work. It never works. It never works with anything, because it's a lot of small things that need change in order for the liver to, in order for the stomach and the liver, of course, in order for the stomach to heal itself. Because the stomach lining in your stomach also needs time to heal. So even if you're doing everything right, you kill the H. pylori, you're still looking into 2-3 months until the lining, the tissue itself, which was so inflamed and maybe got some ulcers, some holes in it, which needs time to heal. It's just like you have a wound out here, it also needs time. Yeah, so Hikame, I highly recommend you to just put into YouTube gut feelings and H. pylori, and you will be overwhelmed with things to do. The stomach healing challenge is another one if you're dealing with H. pylori, but also with gastritis, acid reflux, GERD, things like that, acid coming up, swallowing problems, phlegm, can't swallow, problems swallowing food. I highly recommend the stomach healing challenge, which is like a 1 week plan that gives you everything, like a diet plan, recipes, but also like a detailed healing protocol. So do this in the morning, then do this, take this, don't do this, da 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 da. Really, like you print it out, put it on your fridge, and doing that for a week, and you will see the difference. Is there anybody here from your gut feelers who did either the stomach healing challenge or the gut healing challenge? Who has anything to share? Maybe any challenges or anything that went well? Okay, I'm looking into more of your questions. They are coming in now. Osair, I get lower back pain, a very common one with liver issues and also gut issues, especially the large intestine. I get lower back pain when stressed or when going too long without food. If this is adrenal fatigue, when is a good time to start going to the gym again, given I have been healing with medical medium for 6 months? So you get lower back pain when you're stressed and when you're going too long without food. Yeah, so this can be a nerval connection. It doesn't necessarily has to be adrenal fatigue at all. It can also be just a liver issue where you're running into, low blood sugar levels. The liver is also connected with that because it stores up glucose in the form of glycogen. And if your glycogen levels in your liver are low, the body goes into stress. The body goes into stress mode. When the body goes into stress mode, the first places where you feel it is in your muscles. Yeah, so anxiety can be one, but also like in pain that only comes up, that's like a weakness of yours. So you could say that the lower back pain is like a weak spot, like the Achilles, from the god, the Achilles heel, the heel of Achilles. It would be your lower back. So whenever the body gets like in stress, for example, if it doesn't have enough healthy glucose available because you don't have glycogen levels in your liver stored up, for example, or your brain has some toxic heavy metals, they're running hot, so the brain gets hot and inflamed. Then, and this is all connected, all the nerve system from your brain up to your lower back, it's all connected through your spine. That can be one. So it doesn't have to be adrenal fatigue. It, of course, can be a little bit adrenal, that the adrenals are stressed out, but doesn't have to be adrenal fatigue. So when can you go to the gym again? Well, this is hard to, how can I answer this? The best thing to do is always to see, like doing mild exercise. And while you're healing, I do not recommend to do any hardcore, like pushing the body to the limit, because the body needs the energy to detox and to cleanse itself. Healing and cleansing is a big job for the body, and it needs your support. That's why when clients, for example, they're like, oh, now I'm even more tired since I'm doing the celery juice, or since I'm doing this healing protocol, since I'm doing the stomach healing challenge, gut healing challenge, whatever, medical medium, my spinach soup, whatever. The reason why you're more tired is because the body is like, oh, now we can heal, and it does the healing work. When toxins coming out of your brain, of your liver, of any cell really, they cause damage. Detoxing causes damage as well, because they're still toxic, right? It's not they're not neutralized. When the fat cell in the liver breaks off and the toxin comes out to be recycled, to be brought out, that causes stress. That causes stress in the body. That's why I wouldn't go like hardcore, gym stuff. Walking on the ground barefoot laying on the grass, hugging some trees, yes. But like here, pumping muscles, while you're healing, wouldn't recommend that. And you will feel, once you have a connection with your body, you will feel like, oh, today I have a day where I have like more energy, and maybe that's a time to, further down the line to do some gym stuff, but never push it. Never go like the Wim Hof method. I have to do it. If it feels good, yes, but if it stresses you out, then don't do it. Don't willpower over your body. Your body is your boss. The body is the boss when it comes to healing. Does that make sense? Let me know, Osaya, if that answers your question. Emmanuel van Drien, nice name. Where does the name come from? Is it from Austria? What kind of stress? So we were talking about what causes fatty liver and liver issues, and one of the last ones was stress. And I really stressed the point that stress is a big one. Like it's not. It probably outperforms all of those together. So what kind of stress are we talking about that is so toxic? Well, really any type of stress. So there is like the emotional part, right? There is emotional stress, like this inner turmoil connected with anxiety. But there's also physical stress, which is important. So I just answered the question from Osaya before. Physical stress. So if you have hardship, you don't have a place to stay, or it's very cold right now here in the Andes Mountains, for example, in this house, there's like just a draft every night, and I really feel it stresses my body. That one, or if you don't eat regularly enough for your body, so it gets into a stress mode, and the adrenal system kicks in because the liver doesn't have enough glycogen stored up, which is the storage form of glucose. Everything gets hot and inflamed. That's another point. So it's like stress from all sides. Also stress, one of the biggest stresses probably that is the most common with the clients that I'm working with, what they share, it's like when you have a disease over a long period of time, and your body, is kind of became your enemy, because you just feel like, oh my God, I can't do the things that I want to do. I can't be there for my family. Then there comes this point where it's just like the disease in itself becomes stressful, or the health issue becomes the stressor. And with the client that I just had with the acid reflux and the phlegms coming up, Marco, we just talked about that when you're healing later on, this anxiety, so anxiety also about food, oh, I shouldn't eat this. If I eat this, then this is going to happen. Oh, I don't know what to eat anymore. Those are also things that are connected with stress. So this is all the stress that I'm talking about. Next, Maestro 8080. Please talk about alkaline water use versus using lemon water. Well, I wouldn't say it's like a versus. The thing about lemon is alkalizing, although it's an acidic fruit, but in your body it gets metabolized in an alkaline way. Alkaline way. Talking so much. Monologue. I wish some of you could talk. It gets alkalized. So you can put in your alkaline water, you can put, if you have like a water filter or something like that alkalizes with minerals, something natural, Kangen water filter, Berkey water filter, whatever you got, Niken, then you can still add the lemon juice, like lemon water. This is like the best combination. So I wouldn't put it as a versus. They are both, they are just adding up to each other. Karen, best treatment for Lyme disease and mold toxicity. Both of them. Karen, I have a video, 2 or 3, on mold toxicity. Really, it's very similar to healing allergies. And your best friend, and right now pretty suffering, is your liver when it comes to mold, because mold spores are also stored in the liver, protecting the rest of the body. Because for the brain, for example, if we're talking about toxic black mold, it's very, very toxic. Like it's a neurotoxin. It kills brain cells, literally, over a long time, not just one day. So taking care of your liver is one of the big ones. I also got a a newly released 1-week allergy relief program, which is tailored for mold toxicity as well, and gives you this step-by-step healing protocol. One of the things that I can just give you right now is nettles. Nettles are going to be so much your friend. Stinging nettle, Ortiga. Because nettle helps to bring out the mold spores, but at the same time it stabilizes your whole body. So what on a cellular level, what that means is the if you have this cell here, this is a cell. This is a specific cell. It's called a mast cell. Everybody, allergies. If you got allergies, inflammation, this is all for you. So it's not just for mold toxicity for Karen. If you got, so this is a specific cell, mast cell. In that cell, you can imagine like tiny dots. There's histamine. Histamine is a natural product of the body that when it's released from the mast cell, so when the mast cell is like, okay, we're ready, released, then it causes inflammation. It's kind of the start point of the inflammation cascade. So all, like the itching, the scratching, the intestinal inflammation. Also, if we're talking about SIBO, this is very much for you connected. Indigestion and more toxicity, brain fog, pain in your muscles as well. That can be connected to histamine inflammation caused by histamine. So what nettles do is they stabilize the cell wall, same as zinc, by the way. If healthy zinc sulfate stabilizes the cell wall of those mast cells, so they're not so easy. So even if you contact mold, you're not so easy to get triggered, get the inflammation cascade triggered. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, guys, if you have a question, put 3 question marks in front so I can see them better. Rama Nyadaye, India, maybe? I don't know. My thyroid looks swollen to normal on a daily basis, and I suspect hypothyroidism. What can I do to help myself? I also got a video. I'm saying this all the time, but I really do. Because of those, we can just talk about this a few minutes. And the video is much more in depth. Of course, I got a video on thyroid health. So Rama, watch that. Just put thyroid in and gut feelings on YouTube and you should pop up at some point. So swollen thyroid, the thyroid usually swells if it's dealing with something. Yeah, we're still talking about inflammation. Thyroid, one of the biggest issues for thyroid problems for hypo and hyperthyroidism are viruses, especially Epstein-Barr. Medical Medium talks a lot about that. The body does everything, especially including the liver, to protect the thyroid, because the thyroid, I mean, look at the location of the thyroid, right? Here's your head and there's the rest of the body, and what connects it is your neck, where your thyroid is located. So it's literally like the bottleneck to your brain and to your between those two parts of your body. So the thyroid is an organ that is very, very sensitive. It's sensitive to other hormones. So if you take anti-baby pill, I'm not sure if it sounds like you're a woman, so I'm just mentioning that. Also saw a comment recently about anti-baby pill and spirulina. So anti-baby pill, worst thing you can do for your body. Messing with your hormones, taking synthetic hormones, it's like an atomic bomb that you're releasing in your body. Those guys, those hormones, whatever they are, the thyroid hormones, adrenaline is a hormone, serotonin is a hormone. Those guys are tiny, but they have, like, just an atomic bomb is not big, but they impact everything in your body, and they are not to be messed with. So I really, really encourage you and everybody else not to take synthetic hormones if it's not, you don't have an anaphylactic shock and need adrenaline, so you don't die. But that's really like the othermost. Taking, even like hormonal supplements in menopause, estrogen, progesterone, all those things, they mess up your body big time. Hormones, if they are in excess and your body doesn't need them, they can feed viruses and bacteria as well, just like adrenaline does, which is also a hormone. So what you can do for your thyroid is really like looking at diet, of course, lower inflammation. Blueberries are really great for your thyroid. Spirulina is very, very helpful with thyroid issues. You can also go to the doctor and just get it checked out, first what they have, if you don't do anything invasive. So if they just do an ultrasound, that's okay. But again, like the thyroid is something that acts up when other things are in imbalance. Thyroid is never something is never the first place where something starts. It usually starts in the liver. Liver overburden can't hold the toxins anymore, attacks thyroid. Epstein-Barr, different stages. Thyroid, the fourth stage, where it kind of nests there and starts to, for example, for Hashimoto, starts to eat up the healthy tissue. But it's not like your body's attacking itself or anything like that. Thyroid is very much about balance. Stress is also very much affecting the thyroid. Those are things that I can think of right now. Let me know if this was helpful, Rama. Okay, we're going to do one or two more questions. Okay, I'm not answering the chicken name question here. Okay, Joe Uribe, what do you eat specifically in a day? What do I eat? So I eat honey, so I'm not like 100% vegan, although like for me honey is pretty vegan, although it's not, but it's just medicinal. Other than that, I'm pretty much following my own guidelines with no dairy, no corn, no soy, no eggs. What was the last one? Gluten. Gluten is like sometimes I'm in South America, so it's not like we're not living in a health food store. It's sometimes just in a falafel wrap or anything like that. I do avoid fried foods. So yesterday, for example, I had a falafel wrap in Cusco, which is the capital of Peru, like the Inca capital. Lima is the new capital, and the Inca capital is Peru, is Cusco, where you have like all these sacred sites and stuff. And they have a big market in one of the plazas, and there they have this vegan falafel thing, and it's really tasty. It's with fresh stuff. But I always ask them to not put the falafel, chickpea stuff, into the frying fat, but put it on a, just roasting it from two sides without fat or very little. And that's working well for me. I have juices in the market. I have celery juice. I have cucumber juice if I can. Lemon water. Right now I'm just drinking normal water with some sulfate. So yeah, I'm not very strict. So I really trust my gut feelings. But I do, if you would write it down, it's probably 80% of the of the challenges that I share, of the stomach healing challenge, of the gut healing challenge. I like these recipes. I eat them myself. They're really quick. That's me, I guess. Donkey. Can stress and liver issues cause fat to be redistributed to my face? The last couple of years, I have a little fat by my stomach and definitely in my face, but nowhere else. Tips? Yes. Yeah, of course. Body's smart. If the liver can't take it anymore, again, fat cells are the most stable cells in the body. So, for example, my mom has multiple sclerosis since 25 years, and she doesn't eat a lot. She doesn't do junk food and anything like that, but her body is so toxic. There is so much stuff going on there, from all the medications to cortisol that she gets for when the multiple sclerosis acts up, other viruses, Epstein-Barr, things like that, toxic heavy metals from fillings, mercury back then in Germany. So her body is like, her legs are very much like matches, they're really sticky, and her arms, there is not much on there, but she still has the belly fat, she still has like some good belly fat that she doesn't lose. And she often, we talked about that before, my mom and I, like, why, I don't eat much, I don't eat in the evening, I don't eat that much calories. And I'm like, yeah, mom, this is protecting you. This is your protective layer, you could say. It's not sexy. I mean, most people don't think they like their fat cells there, but they're protecting you. They're protecting you from getting hurt. Like, it's so much better to have some belly fat or some fat in your face or wherever than the toxins hitting your brain and killing your nerve cells, killing your brain cells, right? That's the idea. Just get this pushel thing. Watch this. I've got a pushel thing here for my microphone, so when the wind comes, it doesn't make a bad sound. This is how far technology got with me. It usually doesn't stick though. Let me see. Okay, this was bad demonstration. Okay, so that yes, so that could be. When you think about fat cells that are in places where you don't like them, think about toxicity, toxins storing up, body protecting itself. Best way, detoxing gently. Liver. Okay, last one. Chickens are hungry. You've got your potato peels. My chickens love potato peels. If you give them mice, they're like, yeah, I pick some corn. But if you give them potato peels, they scream for excitement. It's crazy. Okay. I don't know why I have this song in my head. Okay. Ali Abel recovered from gastritis a few months ago through celery juice. Yay! But still constantly bloated every day for months. Guys, I'm talking. 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. Talk about chickens. They're getting hungry. We're talking about all the food. So first of all, congratulations for recovering from gastritis. Gastritis really can be so like nerve-wracking, right? If you have this constant pain and burning. I'm gonna eat you. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm vegan, and they know it. They know they can do this with me. So great you healed the gastritis, because it can be so painful, right? And celery juice really is one of the best and fastest ways. Additional aloe vera, sapida, how they call it here, can be very helpful for once you got the acidity balanced, but there's still these wounds, right? From the gastritis, all the redness inside your stomach. One of the best ways to heal those scars and those wounds, micro injuries, is with aloe vera juice. But that wasn't your question. And you still bloated constantly every day for months. So for you, Ali Abel, I would recommend, if you haven't done it yet, do the stomach healing challenge. Do the 1 week stomach healing challenge, because a lot of gut feelers who are having gastritis, they are eating, or who are now bloated, they're eating foods that are that they can't digest yet. They are not unhealthy. We're talking about green salad and all kinds of raw stuff, which they can't digest yet because they don't have the bacteria. So we want to create first the bacteria and help the whole body to relax, to bring the inflammation down, and then you can come with all those extra super healthy medical medium foods. But first, it's good to just stabilize the body and get the bloating down, right? Especially if you're constantly bloated, that means that either you're detoxing too fast. This can also be one. So sometimes with people doing too much celery juice and 64 ounces and more ounces and whatever, God knows, no, only celery juice and more raw foods, it's just too much for the body. The body's like inflammation. Because as I said, when you're detoxing and viruses, bacteria, pathogenic bacteria that are dying, they're leaving debris. Like they don't go out like without a big scene, right? And the big scene causes inflammation and causes you to sponge up. Also, if you don't have the right gut bacteria, if your microbiome is out of balance because you did some antibiotics, you took the acid blockers, all those things, they have an impact and they kill bacteria that digests, for example, all those healthy foods like salad and spinach and raw kale and fruits and things like that. Yeah. So we want to take it slow. This is probably the best information for you, Ali. I will slow. And especially if you're bloated all the time, stomach healing challenge. More cooked foods, more soups, more sweet potato carrot soup in the evening. Yeah, so easy things, and chew them. Like chew them here, even if it's a soup, because it helps with the already digesting carbohydrates in your mouth. Guys, gut feeder, thank you so much for joining. I hope this was helpful. You can let me know in the comments below if you have more questions. If I have a moment, I always try to get in there and answer as much as I can. And yeah, if for any of the things that I mentioned, stomach healing challenge, gut healing challenge, allergy relief challenge for Karen with the mold toxicity, you can find them all below in the resource section. And yeah, thank you for joining. I hope I see you soon. And I don't know what else to say. Bye, guys.